Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, and welcome back to the Dream Team Tonic podcast, episode 108. I'm Tony, and with me this week is Ben, as usual. You there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here, mate. You all right?
Oh, good, mate. And we've got both of our writers. We've got the resident blogger, Connor. You there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here, Tony.
Oh, good, mate.
Yeah, good.
And we've got the writer of Wooly's Waffle, Matt Woolley. You there, mate?
Evening, Tony. Yeah, I'm here.
Good evening. So it's a bit of a sombre day for football. Rovers missed out on the playoffs by a goal difference. Leicester got a bit of a drubbing to Fulham, and they now, well, it looks like they're dropping in relegation zone now, doesn't it, Ben?
It does indeed.
So there is a bit of a sombre tone. Obviously, Newcastle got beat 2-0. But there is one jolly chap here, Matt, who was just in these Plymouth Argyle get promoted. Not just promoted, but as champions. So congratulations to them.
101 points.
Cracking season for Argyle, that is. So congrats to them. Right, let's get into our teams. We'll fly through these. It's not been a very productive week, points wise. My team, my podcast team, it's got 21 points. It's up 1,000 places from a couple of weeks ago because I weren't on the pod last week. Edison 0, Diaz didn't play. Walker 0. Again, City throwing away them clean sheets. Luke Shaw 0. De Bruyne 3 points. Fernandez 0. Mahrez 7 points. Grealish did not play. Alvarez 3 points. Haaland, who could have had probably 6 or 7 goals, 0. And Salah 8 points. The highest ranked team has also dropped 3 places. It's down into 40th now. So the dream has faded with regards to winning some cash prizes, but hopefully it ends up winning me some money in the mini leagues. But we'll see with that. Not a lot to report points wise.
Any transfers?
Sorry. Yeah, no transfers. Kept all 5. I just didn't see there were any point shifting. A few teams, like my best side, I did bring in Ake, which I think I brought him into about 3 or 4 teams, which is just typical. That's typical. It shows if you do spend your transfers early, it can trip you up for the rest of the month. It's the last set of 5 transfers. We've all got 5 left. So, yeah, like gold dust. But, hey-ho. Connor, your team's up next, mate.
All right. De Gea 0 pointer. I think that's going to be a pretty common theme for most teams. Ake, a dodgy rating, which he only got because he went off injured. I've only just transferred him in. He came in for a lot. So I'm hoping Ake is going to miss a Madrid game and back for next game. But a bit of an awkward one. Trent, 8 pointer. I'm kind of happy with Trent just ticking along in the single games because Liverpool look really good. And Trent looks like, I'd say Trent looks like the best player. He's constantly involved. He could have easily had a haul last game. Yeah. He did a proper good pass, and I think it was Nunez who got shot blocked. I think it might have been Nunez. And then I've got Diaz, didn't play, but should play against Madrid. Bruno 0 pointer, happy to keep him for now. Mahrez 7, starting to get points. Mahrez now, he's actually looking like a really good pick. Bruyne 3 points, Foden 3. Put Foden in for, I think it was Matoma. So they're even now, but Foden's got an extra game this week.
Yeah.
And Haaland 0, Rashford 3, Kane 8.
35 points, decent score that.
Yeah, it's decent. I've gone up in rank.
Yeah, it's a decent score for the week so far. And obviously you've got Ake, but anybody who has gone block City, you weren't a couple of weeks ago when they were conceding against Southampton, but then keeping clean sheets against Bayern. So, I mean, you'd probably see they'll probably go to turnabout and keep it clean there. So,
yeah, it won't surprise me.
live in hope. Anyway. So your best side, Connor, is like 240th.
Yeah, that's also on 35 points for a week. I think I started in 300th, so I've jumped 60 places this week so far.
Happy days. So you're aiming up now for top 100.
Yeah, I got picked that team for the podcast, but Flower Pot Man's up my arse, so I don't want him knowing any sort of inside scoop.
Yeah, don't blame you. Don't blame you, mate. Right. Ben, how's your week gone, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Same amount of points as Connor, 35 points. Bit different team. I've got De Gea in goal, Alexander Arnold 8 points. Akanji came off the bench but 0 points. Ake went off with a rating injured. I brought him in for Wan-Bissaka. Didn't make any more changes, thankfully, so I've got 4 transfers left.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, 0 points. Bowen, 7 rating, 3 points. De Bruyne, the same, 3 points. Mahrez, 2 assists, 7. Rashford, 3. Salah, 8, goal, and Haaland blanked. So, yeah, steady away. This team now is 3.7k. So it's gone up 500 places since last week. My best team's now 191st, into the top 200 now.
Getting up there.
32 points off the top 100. Getting up there.
Easy. You'll easily have that done before the end of the season.
Hopefully.
I reckon so. Good week, that. Good week. And Wooly, last but not least, mate.
Yeah, so this is also my best side at the moment, 414th. It had been flying. It went a little bit backwards at the weekend after 3 transfers that I made into Manchester City. But hopefully, with luck, as you say, at the Bernabeu, it might come back a bit. So De Gea, 0 points again. Ake, who came in for Trent, so I lost 5 points because Trent had 8, obviously, and he's injured now, so that was a bit of a disaster. Shaw, 0. Diaz didn't play, but hopefully will do midweek. Then I'm now on a City midfield of De Bruyne, Foden, who came in for Bruno this week, Mahrez and Grealish. So a few points there from the City midfield. And then Rashford on 3. Alvarez, who came in for Mo Salah. So again, a few more points down the drain there, but he's got more games now until the end. And Haaland on 0. So 22 there for the week.
Yeah, like you say, just suffer with that. Well, you got the Ake injury, you've got Diaz not playing. The right moves, aren't they? Like you said, take a punt on Alvarez. The game.
They're not the normal moves I would make at the beginning of a month, but I've not got much on the line now, so I just thought I'll go 3 off the bat this time around.
Yeah. Drive attack. What's your aim then with that team?
It's a good question. As high as it can go, I think, is the aim. But it's not got any mini leagues riding on it, so as high as it can go. And I don't know whether that's sort of something with a 2 at the front of it, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Didn't that happen last year as well, Willie? Your best team finished 10th or something. Or did it finish last year?
Yeah, it was 9th. So about this time of the year, it had been first for a while, and then it fell off a bit during the final month. So last year, instead of going big on transfers at the beginning of the month, I actually held some back and ended up dead ending into kind of an all Liverpool team for the Champions League final, which included the great point scorers at Liverpool, the likes of Thiago, which was clearly not the right ploy.
Was that a team that wasn't in a mini league as well?
It wasn't in a mini league, no. So it do seem to absolutely pick the wrong teams at the start of the season into the mini leagues.
Yeah. It's always an issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always an issue, that one. Right. That's the teams out of the way. Let's jump into the listener questions and get some Guess with these batted off. Right. From the Discord, Jake Silvo. Who do we bring in for all the City defenders who seem allergic to clean sheets? Ben.
Come on, you got to stick with them, haven't you? Really, if you're on City, you got to stick with them now. They've still got 7 games till the end of the season, possible 8. If like at the start of the week, you probably could have gone somewhere different, but like you could have gone Liverpool because they've got 4 nice fixtures on paper. If you're chasing, but I definitely would have gone Man City myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, because of the fixture, they've got loads of fixtures. You just got to hope they're going to start keeping clean sheets instead of conceding 1 goal every game.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think sticking with City is the way to go. I think Fergie last week said best team, best players, most fixtures, and actually affordable. And I think I don't differ from that much at the moment. I don't think it's going to be the month where they keep, clean sheet after clean sheet. They had, I think, 5 clean sheets on the bat before a run recently where they have started conceding more, and they're going to have Real home and away, possibly one of the Milans in the final at the Champions League, Manchester United. But they've just got the fixtures. I don't see an argument to move off them. I thought about West Ham defenders. Maybe they've got fixtures as well, but again, that they are subject to a bit of rotation there. And the one I picked out potentially was Cresswell, but his last 4 games have been -1, -3, -2, and 5. So over those fixtures, a grand total of 0.
Yeah. Connor, can't be jumping away from City, can we?
No, I'll just stick with them because I don't think many teams are going to keep clean sheets now. It's that type of time at season where all bottom teams are fighting for their life. There's people fighting for top 6, and City is. They're turning off quite a bit anyway throughout the season, and now it's the end of the season. I don't think they're going to get many clean sheets, to be honest. Once they've won the league, if anything, a lot of City players will rotate. So I could see an argument for possibly jumping off of them at the end of the season once they've won it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard because they can also have that Champions League final. So it's all depending on if they get there or not.
Yeah, definitely. I think there might be a little bit of tongue-in-cheek in his question, but it's like everyone's gone towards City, and then they just keep, like I say, they do seem allergic to keeping these clean sheets, but they did so against Bayern in the first leg. So let's see what tomorrow night brings when they go to the Bernabeu. Next up is Wadey, again in the Discord. Rashford, hold or keep. I'm thinking of covering my rival and jumping on Alvarez. Matt, you got a little bit more info out of Wadey regarding this question. You want to touch on it first, mate?
Yeah, so he's actually gone into a City midfield now, so he's got good City coverage. He's still got Salah, Rashford, and Haaland up front. And the key thing is obviously his rival has jumped from Rashford to Alvarez. So he's got the cover there. I'd probably hold Rashford, if I'm honest. I think he's got 5 games still for Marcus Rashford. Wolves at home next. He will play 90 minutes or close there to each match. Alvarez won't get full games. I mean, I did go Salah to Alvarez in my main side. Salah's got less games than Rashford. Rashford and Salah similar points so far this season. I think Rashford a few more actually. So I wouldn't do it, but I can understand if you're covering the rival is obviously the only option. But then, by the sounds of it, you've gone to 4 City midfielders, so you've probably got a difference in midfield anyway. So you might be covering in one area, and he could overtake you in that midfield.
Yeah, it's true. It's one of them. It's that time of the season where these blocking moves start coming in. Ben?
By the sounds of what Wadey was saying in the Discord chat, that he's quite far ahead. Is he over 50 points ahead? So I would personally just stay on Rashford, save your transfer till later, and then when it comes to the FA Cup final, then you can jump onto Alvarez and cover him there, and possibly get him for the Champions League final as well. Because it's only one more game more than Rashford's got anyway, and that one more game is Real Madrid in the second leg, because he can't bring him in now anyway for the first leg because we're all locked in now. So yeah, that's what I do. I keep him. Lovely fixtures for United now. 3 games at home. They've got Wolves at home, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home, and they've got a Bournemouth away game in game week 35.
Yeah,
so good fixtures.
You'd want Rashford for them, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And Alvarez is going to get moved around. He won't play all of them. He'll play bits of some.
Yeah.
I'd be sticking with Rashford. That's my shout as well. Connor?
Yeah, just stick with Rashford. If you're going to jump off him and block, I'd give it after Rashford's double.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, some lovely fixtures there. Wolves home, Bournemouth away, Chelsea booked up. They finally won, didn't they? They finally win.
3-1.
Bournemouth. Bloody hell. Yeah. But they're still, they have been playing awful, Chelsea. They really are.
They're safe now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Next up, Connor. Well, it's a question from Pouring Poker. After the success of the Xmas wildcard, which you guys were unsure about, in the end, I think you thought it was a success. Can you give one new addition you would like to see added to take the game forward? Ben, do you reckon, mate?
I've got a few points. The one I'd be most keen on is if they give 3 points for an assist instead of 2. I think that needs to be sorted out, because like getting 2 points for an assist is just, it's a bit stingy, innit? Like, yeah. In other games you get at least 3 points for an assist. De Bruyne has had loads of assists this year. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's about 20 assists now, something like that. But yeah, that should be 3 points. And then I'd like to see goalkeepers getting points for saves. So maybe 0.5 for each save, just to give the goalkeepers a bit more to do in the points wise. Because look at Edison, he does nothing all game, and then or he might get one save, and then he'll get concede a goal, and then it's a blank, isn't it? Like, or you get like, I suppose if they're doing well in the game, they'll get a 7 rating. But sometimes they'll start off well by saving loads of shots, and then they'll concede 2 goals, and then the rating goes.
Yeah, they lose it all.
At least if they've had those save points, then they're getting something.
Yeah.
And the other one was, I would like to see an extra point for a midfielder goal. So like 6 points for a midfielder goal, and even like 7 for a defender goal, an 8 for a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Just to mix it up a bit, you know. Pick attacking defenders and that. Try and get more points. So there's other games that do that as well. I think Sky do that.
Yeah, I think obviously a defender goal should be worth more than a striker goal.
Yeah.
Especially when a lot of them say, I don't know, Harry Kane or Salah, a lot of them are penalties. Should be rewarded for scoring a goal if you're not one that often pops up with a goal, if you know what I mean. What do you reckon, Wooly?
I suppose to add to the list of potential points changes, one that came up today actually in the Brighton Everton game, I think, was own goal points. No deductions for own goals. So that would make it probably a bit more consistent with other formats. I'm not sure personally. I'm not sure about the wild card in the long term. I think it was great. It needed this season because of the break. I think possibly, I'm not too sure going into detail, Tony, but you had probably had a huge amount of momentum in your side that was right up there at that point. And one of the great things about Dream Team is that kind of rolls through the season. Whereas I'm not sure if that break sort of not ruined, but changed that aspect of the game slightly at that point. So I'm not a fan of that for the long term. I do think though that perhaps they need to do something around keeping it interesting for the second half of the year for people who have fallen by the wayside. Maybe a cup competition for the second half of the year, a bit like FPL have. Not sure, but obviously there are absolutely fantastic competitions available on the Dream Team Tonic for subscribers, clearly, which keep interest right through the season. The other one that I think would be interesting and will never ever happen, but would be to allow points in the games involving the English sides for European players. So, like, you could bring in a Real Madrid player for this week against Liverpool. Realise that will never happen. It's a bit complicated. 4 points, so
that will be good. Well, I mean, Cancelo got a -3, did he?
Yeah.
For Bayern.
They used to have a Euro Dream Team a few years ago. I enjoyed playing that. You just pick players for the European games, and then as you go through the season, you can have players from all over Europe. You can play in a mini league in that. It was really good, that, but they got rid of it.
Shame.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Connor?
Mine's a bit similar to Ben's. I think I should just combine my 2 favourite games, Sky and Dream Team. So get rid of the ratings in Dream Team, get rid of Star Man, and then add saves, tackles, passes, and shot tiers.
Yeah.
And I think that would cut a lot of the BS, because a lot of complaints with Dream Team is the inconsistent ratings and like just BS Starmen. Like it ruins seasons for a lot of people, because I might lose the mini league by like 5 points. I know one in particular is Saka. Saka on Who Scored updated after the 15-minute period to Starman, but in Dream Team it didn't count as Starman. Someone else got it, so that's like a 5-point difference what someone could have had. So just cut ratings of Starman completely and add another way of getting points, which you can't really argue with. Like, you can't argue passes, tackles, shots, saves.
Yeah, it's true. I think they had that problem in Sky as well, didn't they, with the man of the match thing? Or just picking the star of the match or whatever.
It used to be based on it was either, if Sky were covering it live, they'd go along with whichever man of the match was given on their broadcast, or if not, it'll be some random Sky reporter writing the article on their website. And that was as bad as the current Starman problem. But things can change. So hopefully someone at Dream Team's listening and can take Connor's advice there, because I think that would be a good change.
Yeah, definitely. I had that mainly you need to try and involve the goalkeepers more, which the save points would help with that. But yeah, I mean, shot tiers and pass tiers and stuff like that to replace ratings would be. You can't argue with the stats, can you? It's there, and it is a good way of doing it. It is where Sky do have the edge in that sense, definitely. Yeah, lots of food for thought. You never know. Things might change. Regards to the wild card, I like I say, we needed. It actually benefited me, because before the World Cup, my team had gone from like 4th, and it fell out of the top 100, I think. The Cancelo red card against Brentford, or Fulham at home.
Yeah.
It's such a dodgy red card, and they got a penalty, so he conceded. I'd gone heavy on City because I think they had a double header with like Fulham and Brentford, and they lost both games. If I remember right, they either lost or drew. They conceded in both games anyway, and that I basically fell away. But then the wild card came, and then I changed up and went straight onto the Newcastle block, and that shot me right back up into the top 10. So it worked for me, but I like to say we needed because of the World Cup, and I don't think you've got 5 transfers every month. If they stick to the 5 transfer rule, we've got ample amount of transfers. Ample amount. We don't need a wild card as well. So yeah, that's my 10 pence on that.
It's 50 transfers for a season. It's plenty, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Some people can't help themselves.
Patrick, Patrick, you know. Right, moving on. Lee Hooper, a question directly for you, Matt. Are you the most calm and collected man in the Discord? He thinks he could do with some of that calm and collection at times.
I know. It must be living down here in Devon that keeps coming. Oh, well, I think Lee Hooper's also in Devon, actually. So,
Is he?
Yeah, so I don't think that's the reason, clearly. I mean, yeah, probably as calm and collected as anyone there. I kind of play generally a fairly patient game. Possibly I'll come on to some problems with that this year in some of the things I've learned for next year in a question later. But I mean, it's quite a boring way of analysing it, but you can make good decisions. It's not a boring way of analysing it. It's just true that you can make good decisions and get bad outcomes. And I don't worry too much if I've ended up on the wrong side of a particular outcome. I think I did a bit of quick maths earlier. So there are obviously 38 Premier League games, but you know, players in Dream Team could be up to sort of 45 games per position that you've got in your side. So you've probably got over 550 individual players playing matches. There's a huge amount of the season. I never really get worried about one particular player not performing or a clean sheet going. There's oodles of time over the season to either have a good season or a bad season. So just feel happy making the best decisions I can and seeing what happens. It's a bit of luck and a bit of skill at the end of the day, really. So, yeah, I don't know. I probably hasn't exactly answered. Whether I'm the most cool and calm, that's for others to determine. I think there's plenty of cool and calm and collected people on there and on here tonight. So I think that's
behind the ball and punching walls and smashing things. And no, I'm not really. Go on, then.
I'd have to add to that though. Like Lee Hooper, when he first joined the Discord and the Patreon last year, he was very erratic with his transfers. Just like, I'm going to bang this guy in here and I'm going to bang him in. I'm watching this match and I'm just going to bang him in. And then he'd be like, I'm out of transfers. Like, what am I going to do now? And he'd be moaning about it and that. And then this season, he's like a totally different player. He's like in the top 100. He's got a few teams in the top 200, hasn't he? He's doing really good. He seemed to be a totally different player. I have to say, if we had like a prize for the most improved player of the season or manager, definitely be Lee Hooper. Yeah, he's been brilliant.
Yeah, it's a really good season.
Give yourself a pat on the back, son.
You won't have it. You won't have it, but yeah, he's had a great season thus far. Oz, a question for you, Colin.
Great.
Are we both going to finish 5th and 6th? And can you blow me a kiss, please?
Right. I'm going to skip on the kiss. I don't know what he's talking about. He's a Man U fan for context. Man U's bottling it. Liverpool's going to go 4th and Newcastle's staying 3rd.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Man U look completely off it. Newcastle yesterday, that could have easily gone a different way if we actually finished chances. We just fluffed a lot of shots, and Ramsdale made a wonder save, and Xhaka did like a sliding block as well. So they outclassed us. But if we took the chances, it could have easily been a draw. And that second best or first best team in the league, which way you want to look at it.
I tell you, that early chance where you hit the post at your first minute.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if that went in, Arsenal would have crumbled. They'd have absolutely crumbled.
What I said. Yeah.
It would have been a different game, but it wasn't that bad. I don't think we were completely outclassed. It's a bit of poor finishing. Just edged it their way.
Are you worried? Are you worried about the fixtures that United have left, though?
I can't think of it on the top of my head.
So it was Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home.
I reckon Fulham could give them a game, and I reckon Chelsea could give a shock.
Maybe Chelsea have turned the corner now.
Yeah, Gallagher brace.
Yeah. Well, Wolves have gone from conceding 6 last week to keeping Villa out this week, haven't they?
Yeah. Mental.
Yeah. but they're away. So if Wolves are at home, it's a different story. Yeah, we don't know, do we?
No,
I think it's more so Newcastle's. I think Newcastle will beat most of their games. I think we beat Chelsea at home.
Chelsea
I think,
away. Chelsea away.
Is it Chelsea away?
Yeah, Leeds away,
Yeah.
Brighton at home, Leicester at home, and then Chelsea away.
Right. Well, we'll flatten Leicester.
Brighton's on Brighton Beach.
Yeah, and Chelsea's an easy team. Newcastle smash them.
Yeah, I can't see Newcastle dropping out. Like I say, United have got decent fixtures. They just seem to throw in a flat game every now and again, don't they? United.
They can't play away from home, it seems.
Seems so. Obviously, now they've got Liverpool breathing down the necks, albeit they have played a game more. But he has just put that pressure on slightly. It's back on where you'd looked at it, you're probably thinking that top four is probably nailed now.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden you look at it now, I don't know. Another dodgy result for United or like another one for Newcastle. And next thing you know, that door is opening.
Well, I hope Newcastle don't bottle it now because people will be clipping podcasts and I'll look like a right mug.
That's true. Right, moving on. You're not getting your kiss, Oz. DT Patrick, is Salah to Rashford for a 5-3 fixture left a good move? What do you reckon, Ben?
I think you wait another game week just because Salah's got Leicester next, so that's a hat trick there, isn't it? So they got Leicester on the Monday night, so yeah, I'd wait another week, and then the week after, then that's when Man U's got Bournemouth and Chelsea in double header. Liverpool have Aston Villa, so you could even keep Salah to the end of the season if he keeps scoring. What was the record? I can't remember now. I heard it on the telly. It was like 9 in a row he scored at home. Salah. Yeah. So he's got Liverpool's got Leicester away, Villa at home, Southampton away. They're very good fixtures, aren't they? So even if you keep that transfer in hand for later, and then you can move Rashford in for the FA Cup final. I don't know, but I'd probably definitely look at it again in game week 35, not next week.
Yeah,
look at it for the Bournemouth and Chelsea double, maybe then, but not next week when they're playing Leicester. Atrocious defence.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Matt?
100% agreed. I think my notes I put wait for the 4-2 rather than the 5-3. As I say, as Ben said, you don't need to do it. Don't need to do it now. I mean, as a comparison earlier, I talked about the points they've scored. Just unbelievable that he's sort of 34 points ahead of Salah so far this season. So I wouldn't worry about losing Salah for him, but just you don't need to do it this week.
Yeah. Connor?
Same as everyone else. I just put down, wait a week and then go for double.
Yeah, it's a full house. Like you say, Leicester have been a bit leaky most of the season.
Leaky, it's like a flood.
Yeah, it's not nice viewing for you Leicester fans, but yeah, wait that week, get that double. Aman, copying Connor's question from last week, what is one thing Connor and Matt can take away from this season to help them improve on their ranks next season? Matt, we'll go to you first, mate.
Yeah, so I think I'm probably going to write a Wooly's waffle at the end of the season to kind of summarise my thoughts across all formats because I've learned a lot this season. Obviously, last season had a lot of luck and got right up to the top, but I think this season where it's felt therefore like I'm struggling more, have learned a lot more actually. I think to summarise, kind of the one point though that I would say that will be in that blog will be certainly around, I think I've been a bit too cautious on transfers and I've kind of taken what I thought was a positive in terms of being calm, patient, cool, and saving transfers for the end of the month. I've just been a little bit too cautious. So I think I'll take more advantages next season. And obviously, as I said earlier on, the Alvarez bringing in, I'm not really following that same caution at the moment because I've got nothing really particularly to play for other than the highest possible finish. So I'm not too worried. But yeah, as I say, blog will follow at the end of the season. It's taken a bit of a break just due to being really busy at work over the last couple of months, but it will be back.
Excellent. Look forward to it, mate. Connor?
I'll just put I'm going to try not to spunk my transfers in the first 2 weeks. I haven't used them all, but there's been a few occasions like where I've used 3 to 4 in the first 2 weeks, and I've been fine, but then 2 players got injured, and then I've had to sit like a week with an injured player. Yeah, that's about it.
Got to be a bit more persevere with your transfers, pull back a little bit. So Bully's saying he needs to be a little less cautious. You're saying you need to be a bit more cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. We go through that, I think. I mean, sometimes you can be cautious and it pays off.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is to do when we look back on the season is a little bit of hindsight, because if you was more aggressive, would it have changed things? You don't know. Like I say, if you're more aggressive, you're likely to get caught out with the injuries more. But then sometimes you do just sit on your hands. You do miss some opportunities. I think over the course of that, like a full season, it's getting most of them right, which is where the luck comes in. Because as Wooly said earlier, you're making good decisions, but with bad outcomes. Can't help that. But Aman is with his second question. Regarding the Man City defence, should we follow the data, expected goals conceded, and that there will be regression and the Man City clean sheets will come? Or is there a trend where City are destined, by fate or bad luck, to concede a goal a game? Are City defenders essential, and can you go to other defenders instead? Obviously, we covered it. I'm not one for XGC and all this stuff. I'm always on the eye test. I think they could quite easily have kept a number of clean sheets. I think odd little moments in games, they've had a little bit of a lapse, or it's a bit of good play from a Premier League team that has. I mean, it is the Premier League. Every team's capable of scoring against anybody. There's no like completely awful teams. So I reckon them XGC.
Yeah, I don't pay too much attention to it either. You say, keep like the eye test, watching them play, and that just seem to concede a goal at the moment every week. Like when they get 3 goals up or something, then they start like messing about, and the Pep will bring off some defenders, bring some on. Yeah, but I think they'll start tightening up as the end of the season finishes. They've got loads of games, so they've got more potential to win, to get more points for you. So I wouldn't be moving off. Like last month, I mean, at the start of the month, like we said before, it was probably the chance to do something a bit different. You could have gone Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Newcastle maybe. But when you get to the end of the season, you're just going to be gutted that you haven't got them players for the FA Cup final. So you haven't got the City or the United players for the FA Cup final or the possible Champions League final at the end if they get through. So I like to have as many tickets for the raffle as possible. So yeah, I'd go for the Man City.
Definitely, completely agree with that. Matt?
Totally agreed, 100%. Obviously, I've brought Ake in, so that's one that needs to be monitored. Dan Connor said earlier he had Ake in his side, so that's one we're going to need to monitor to work out whether we need to get him out. But fully agreed, and also not a huge fan of XGC at all. I spent a bit of time earlier kind of trying to work out how they calculate the XGC and the XG.
Yeah.
I think the basis is its position on the pitch when you shoot and kind of history of percentage chances of the ball going in. Sometimes that's enhanced by then mapping in where defensive players are, but it never takes account, for example, an XG of, whether basically you've got Harry Kane shooting and, he's likely to score, or whether you've got
Adama Traore.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good example.
It's a great example, Ben. Thank you. So, I mean, stats that I would rather take into account are the goals. And yes, they haven't kept clean sheets, but they haven't conceded more than one this calendar year, apart from on one occasion. So they're close to clean sheets. They're not far away.
Yeah, definitely. Come.
Yeah, I'd just rather 2 shots at a clean than 1 at this point in the season, especially. It'll help City clean wise if they actually had a good keeper. I think Ederson's honestly one of the worst keepers in the league. I think
controversial.
I think a brilliant signing would be like David Raya from Brentford.
Nick Pope.
No, not Nick Pope. He's staying at Newcastle. But David Raya at City would have so many more cleans. He's such a good keeper, and he can pass out back as well, just like Pep loves.
Don't do it, Tony. Don't do it, Tony. Do not talk about it again.
Honestly, it pisses me off. We sold him for 3 million. 3 million. The fuck. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I mean, to be fair, I think we've got a sell on clause. So hopefully, someone does buy him for 50 or 60 million. We can have a bit of coin back off it. But yeah, he is a top keeper. Very, very good keeper. Very good shot stopper. Good with his feet. Yeah, Ederson. Would you not have him at Newcastle then?
Absolutely not. No.
Matt, would you have him at Argyle?
Well, Michael Cooper's injured at the moment. He's been a great keeper. We've got a great standing keeper as well. So yeah, just hopefully City keep the hands off Michael Cooper. That's all I'll say.
Ben, would you have Ederson at Leicester?
I'd have Scott Carson at Leicester.
Brilliant.
Well.
Brilliant. Right, another one from Alan. Question 3. When Newcastle secure Champions League football, who's on Connor's shopping list for the summer?
Right, well, I've kept it short and sweet because a lot of people can't be bothered with my Newcastle talk. He's only asked because I'm a Newcastle fan. So I've gone Rice as priority number 1. Get a new midfielder. Declan Rice is quality. He'd fit Longstaff's role down to a T. I've gone for Rafinha or Diaby from Leverkusen as a new right winger. And I've got, this is controversial, I've got Tierney down as a left back. He's very injury prone, but if he kept fit, he'd be quality at left back. And then we've also got a bit of depth to cover that in burning target.
Yeah, definitely good signing that being for Newcastle. I'm surprised you didn't say my mate Maddison.
Yeah.
Gone off him now.
Well, no, I take him, but I feel like Rice would fit the Newcastle mould a lot better because Willock's like shining a bit more now. And I don't know, we need someone in that Longstaff position. Longstaff's quality when he plays, but Rice is like that to Longstaff. Rice will just be amazing.
It is about adding depth in it for Newcastle, I think, next season. But buying quality for the first 11, and then because you've got a decent first 11, Longstaff's great backup. I think obviously getting someone like Rice as well, maybe trying to move Bruno Gio a little bit, give him more freedom because he's so good. Well, he's such a good box-to-box midfielder, Bruno. You don't just want to hold him back and playing protecting that front four. Back four, sorry. Yeah. Exciting being a Newcastle fan when you've got all that cash.
I get a lot of reviews for it though.
Being a Rovers fan, we're loans, freebies, and we're just literally playing our youth side now. But they're bloody good.
Hey, you went through that phase though of having all the money in the world and buying Alan Shearer and that.
Yeah, I know. Of course they did. If someone say Rovers ruined the football world by bringing all that money into it, but I don't care. We were champions of England once. Hey, Ben, you know what
Yeah.
it feels like to be champions of England, don't you, mate?
Yeah. Feels such a long time ago now, that.
Yeah, and the FA Cup win as well.
I know, that was only 2 years ago.
And now you're there, bloody battling on 30 points.
Bottom 3 now. Forest 3-1 up.
3-1 up.
Dear. If Leicester beat Liverpool and Newcastle, that would be typical Leicester, that.
It would. It would. Do you reckon you were going down to a point next season?
Yes.
Right, next question. Andy Barnett. After Man City play Everton next Sunday, Brighton will play 45 minutes after. If we were in a similar situation to this week where we have did not players, would it be a good idea to transfer the did not play assets to Brighton players who could then potentially have the same remaining fixtures as Man City, or a 5-for-2 over a lot of other sides? What do you reckon, Willie?
Yeah, well, it sounds like great hindsight here. Sounds like Captain Hindsight in a minute, but I wouldn't go for their defence. That's the first thing I'd say. And I did think that before their drubbing against Everton, it has to be said. They've got Arsenal away, Newcastle away, Man City at home, Villa away. As 4 of the 5 that they've got to go, I pick a clean sheet out of any of those. Southampton at home could well be a clean sheet, so that's potentially one. So I wouldn't go for those. I had 3 names potentially you could go to. Solly March, well, looks like he's done his hamstring and he's out for the season now. So
Definitely done his hamstring.
Yeah.
He's on the bench. He was on the bench yesterday, wasn't he? Today, sorry.
So he was on the bench.
Half time.
Yeah.
All right.
Went off about 20 minutes later. I think then you've obviously got Matoma, who I know several of us, myself and the professor, have been on at different points of the season. What a player he's been this season.
Unbelievable.
I'm not quite sure what the impact when March isn't in there and how they'll rejig things, but they have been sharing out a lot of points amongst that midfield of late. I mean, you've got Enciso. I mean, he is 0% owned at the moment in the top 1,000. So if you wanted a real differential, didn't play today, to be fair.
Just quickly on Mitoma, he got 6.98 rating today, so he's just missed out on the 7 rating again.
He's done that 7 times.
He was very good again. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised if someone doesn't sign him.
But they just have this production line there where they've got more to fill the boots. So and so you've got that
Buonanotte.
Yeah, Buonanotte. I mean, So I probably wouldn't go there, but it's not a bad shout if you want to take a different lottery, and you've certainly got five tickets.
Yep, decent amount of tickets. Probably a little bit more free from the rotation that City obviously suffer with. As how many did not players did you have this week? Like Grealish and Diaz, Stones. Buonanotte looks good, and Ciso, he's my differential pick this month. He looks super talented. Matoma, he's a breath of fresh air. What a good footballer he is. He's bloody brilliant. He'd slot into any of the top sides. He would any of the top sides. So they'll be picking up a lot of money for him. Brighton, definitely. Like McAllister. I think it's a good option, Andy, especially if you're chasing. It's a great little
3-2. Come on, Southampton.
Is it at Southampton?
Hey?
Is it at Southampton?
No, it's at City Ground, Forest.
Hey, they might not be the only team that come from 3-1 behind today to win.
Yeah.
Very sorry, C-Tops, Connor. We just couldn't let you go in the playoffs as well. We let your mates go in there instead. Connor, the Mackhams are coming for you.
Oh God! Yeah, Twig will be on me. I don't want Twig's wrath.
Well, it's either Borough or Sunderland that's going to go up in it in the playoffs.
I hope
Hopefully.
it's Sunderland, so Twags can't be in Prem.
I think it's going to be Borough. I think out of the 4 sides that I've seen this season, I think Borough will do it. Do you know Rovers were on Sky this year 29 times?
Really?
Yeah, unbelievable. Something like 13 times more than the winners of the league and that showered out road. Ben, what do you reckon, mate, about that Brighton plan?
Brighton can do one. I'm not happy with them.
Just capitulated against Everton.
They're taking the mickey out of me. They've been on fire this season, but when they play the good teams, they turn up. When they play the poor teams, they don't turn up. So you got Forest, they lost 3-1 recently, and now they've lost at home to Everton. They've dropped points against Forest at home, dropped points against Leeds. They're just dropping points all over the place. Drop points against Leicester, Fulham. They'll drop points. But when they go and beat Chelsea, they go and beat Man United, beat Liverpool, but they can't turn it on all the time. It's so annoying. They should have won today at home. Brighton definitely 5-1's a disgrace.
It is against Everton side that can't score.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening there. They took a bung or something.
To be fair, Everton were very, very good on the counter-attack. They were extremely good today, Everton. Brighton had the chances. Could have scored a hell of a lot of goals. It's football, innit? What do you reckon of that 5-2, Connor?
I'd say go for it, but only if you're chasing. And I'd only be touching the attacking assets. I had a Stupingang mentioned in my blog, and if you're feeling super risky, I'd say he's a good option because when I watch him, I like him attacking. But yeah, the main ones are Matoma, McAllister, but not so much now because going quite far back. But Enciso is good, and that guy you said, but I don't know how to pronounce his name, begins with a B.
Buonanotte.
Yeah.
That's Italian for good night.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We used to have a Buonanotte at Malaga as well.
Oh, don't speak about Malaga. My bad luck is just running everywhere in it. So I booked my tickets for who do play on Saturday?
Mirandes.
Malaga Mirandes. And it's looking very likely that might be the game. If Malaga don't win, they're relegated, aren't they?
Yeah, to the third tier.
So I've got my Malaga shirt, I've got my tickets, I've got my coach books.
This year, 10 years ago, we were in the Champions League quarterfinals against Dortmund.
I'll be there then. Don't worry, I'll cheer them on. We'll be back. I said to my dad, I said, if they do get relegated and we're there to watch it, we're going to have to go back the year after to watch the promotion party.
Yeah, they did smash the third division, surely.
Yeah, definitely.
Segunda B.
Yeah. So, I do apologise, Ben, for relegating Malaga. But I'll be there anyway. Right, Dream Team Professor. Who has been your most enjoyable player to own this season? And have there been any players you've been put off owning ever again? Ben?
There's quite a few players I've enjoyed having this season. Definitely Rashford from when I brought him in at the wild card. And he was on fire after the World Cup. And then Odegaard I've enjoyed having. He's been pretty decent to have. I've unluckily not had him. Not unluckily, I've not had him while he's been scoring these goals lately because of the fixtures that Arsenal have had. I've not had him in. Trippier, obviously, he was on fire as well. And I've enjoyed having Trent lately as well. He's been brilliant. He's like getting. Was he had 6 attacking returns in 6 games or something? 7 attacking returns in 7 games or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
So he's been brilliant. Could have got star man at the weekend as well.
Yeah, he started to rack up the points, hasn't he, Trent?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. What about anybody? Has anybody joined your list of I'm not owning that bastard again?
No. I like to keep an open mind every season. Start again. Yeah. I don't like. Well, obviously, I'm a bit annoyed with
Jimmy Vardy.
Well, I'm not picking Jamie Vardy because he'll be relegated, won't he? he'll be playing for Sheffield Wednesday next year, probably.
Yeah, probably against Leicester.
Yeah. No, I would imagine he'll stay, but he's a big Sheffield Wednesday fan. And I would imagine he'll want to play there before he retires. Probably Brighton are annoying me at the moment, obviously, because they've been very inconsistent. And then they go and win 6-0 last week, and then none of the top players were playing. I've got Mitoma in a lot of teams as well. So he's been blanking lately. And he was doing decent during March, April. He was getting returns every week. So I was hoping to keep hold of him until near the end of the season because they've got 2 double game weeks now, haven't they, Brighton? But they're a bit like what I was saying with Leicester. They just you don't know what they're going to be like next week. If obviously they're better than Leicester at the moment, but they could beat Arsenal, couldn't they, next week? And they're playing Newcastle, Brighton playing Arsenal, Newcastle. They could go and win both of them games, Brian, if they wanted to. But it's just if they turn up. I mean, they are tough games, but Brighton have been brilliant this year.
Yeah, they have. Matt?
So I think on the plus side, I've enjoyed owning Almiron. Not sure if we're going to hear that name again in a few seconds.
Yeah, good.
Also, definitely Mitoma. Didn't quite hit the sweet spot of when to bring him in. Kind of had him before and after him really exploding points-wise. But what a player, as we've all said. Enjoyed having Mahrez and Grealish at the same time quite recently. So, when one's banging the points and the other's on the bench, it's not too worried about that. So I've enjoyed that. On the players who've gone onto the never again list, despite the fact I'll caveat with I'll probably bring at least one of these in next season. Each season as it comes. Jesse Lingard, I had in my side for 1 week and 1 week only at the very start of the season. Probably recommended him on a podcast at some point. But his career seems to have gone completely just off a cliff.
Strange.
Why did you sign for West Ham?
Wow, 100%. What a fancy player he was for those few months.
Oh, unbelievable. Shows he got it in him.
Yeah, exactly. I also had Che Adams in for 2 weeks at some point in the season. Not really sure why or whether I bring him back in. And most recently, in the last few weeks, I brought in Kai Havertz, who I should have learned from the past. Just doesn't get the points when you want him to. Yeah,
that's the sort of one. Connor?
All of the Newcastle players, every single one. It's been my first season where I can actually use the team I support and they play well and get me loads of points. Like when everyone jumped on the Newcastle block, everyone's rank to space.
Yeah.
You shut up. Miggy, when he went on his big points run, it'll be beautiful. It'll cheap as chips. And at start season, Nick Pope, I was raving on about him. He just scored before season. Everyone jump on Pope. He's going to be one of the top point scoring keepers. And he is. I don't know if he's number 1 now, but he was for a long time.
I stayed away from him because he's an ex-Dingle. That's what like football rivalries distort your view. But
well, at the start of the season, I said that he'll be top point scoring. He's 5 points off at top now, and he had no Europe.
Yeah,
amazing keeper, and he only started at 2.5 mil.
He is a top try keeper, definitely. top drawer. Anybody that has gone onto the naughty list?
Beautiful young picture, Pope.
Wow! I was thinking, who the hell's that?
Oh, you come.
He's got the Bieber trim. The player I'm going to own again in Dream Team is Havertz. Havertz is absolutely, as Patrick would say, pony. Awful player.
Absolute pony.
Awful player. Put him in 0 points. I think I had him for about 3 weeks. I had him in one team over, or who was I think it was Salah in one of my teams. It was disgusting. I think I missed out on about 30 points whilst having Havertz in team, and I stuck with him because of injury. So I'm never touching Havertz. He's rubbish to look at as well. Like when I'm watching him, he's just a big donkey.
I think he has just been poisoned by that Chelsea curse.
Chelsea striker curse.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, look at some of the names that are at Chelsea and some of the players and the big money they've spent on that, and everyone's struggling there. Everyone. And he's another one of them.
Yeah, Sterling's
Sterling, Havertz, even Mount's gone backwards. There's so many big names that they've just gone to pot. I don't think so much it's Havertz. He's got a record. He had a decent record at Leverkusen. He's obviously a good player, but I think they've just all fallen apart, and they're all devoid of any confidence. They all need to just move on, and they need to refresh everything. It's but painful having Havertz in your team, definitely.
Over the last 20 years, though, like Chelsea strikers have all been poisoned, haven't they? Like Lukaku last year. Then you got going back. You got Shevchenko, Kesma, Torres, Crespo. There's loads of them.
Yeah. Hernan Crespo, one of Europe's best strikers, comes to Chelsea, can't do nothing.
Goes to Milan, wins the Champions League.
Crazy.
Yeah, Diego Costa were quite good.
Yeah.
Since then, though, he's not been bursting.
Drogba's the best one, isn't he?
Drogba, and then obviously had Costa after that. But other than that, they've just really struggled. Really struggled. And Aubameyang, what a bad signing Aubameyang was.
Yeah, Aubameyang.
Where is he? But it's just, they really have struggled. For me, most enjoyable player I've probably had is Grealish. And I always stumbled upon him because I got kind of backed into a corner. And then each time I was thinking, my transfers are coming, it's like Grealish should probably be out on my side. He's just ticked along so nicely for so long now. I don't know where he is on the point scorer for the midfielders, but he must be climbing up there. He must be doing all right. Just ticking along with 5 pointers, 7 pointers. He's had the odd 13 points here and there. So he's been good. He's been a good stumble on, and he's been pretty nailed in that City side for however long. I know he didn't play this week, but I think that's the first time in 13 games or something like that he'd not started, which is a crazy stat, especially for City.
Just proves how important he is, isn't he? If he's saving him for the Real Madrid game.
Honestly, so important. I sat watching City game the other day, and Foden is unbelievable. He's an unbelievable football player. He's brilliant. I love watching Foden play. But Leeds were able to nullify City a little bit more because Grealish, if you watch where he plays, he just sits and he just stands on that touchline. He just stands there. It doesn't matter what's going on in the game, and he pulls that right back all the way out to him. And then you let De Bruyne's and Haaland's and that play in that space between the centre half and the fullback. When you've got Foden on, the amount of times Foden's darting in between and behind the lines and all that stuff because he likes to come inside. The City are a better side with Grealish in it, I think. And more, they probably score more or produce more because he's happy just to sit and hog that touchline. Whereas Foden wants to be more involved, so he comes in more. And he allows teams to narrow, and you see a lot of the play starts to go through the centre.
Yeah.
But
I'm just looking at the stats for the Man City midfielders, and we were talking about De Bruyne before. He's got 26 assists in all competitions.
Unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Not good enough for Chelsea, though.
No.
I mean, let's be fair. If he had gone to Chelsea, as we were saying earlier, he'd probably be pony now as well.
yeah, he would. He'd have been poisoned. Same with Salah. If he'd have stayed there. So,
They had Salah, Lukaku, and De Bruyne in the squad, didn't they, at one time?
Unreal.
They just sold them all.
Just can't get a look in. Yeah, anybody else been put off all in? Havertz got to be one, hasn't he? Like I say. Yeah, Che Adams snuck his way into my team as well. I think it was a cup game, and then I think they had a decent fixture as well in the league.
Lincoln in the cup, didn't they? Lincoln.
Yeah, I remember it. Did he not get us like an 18-pointer?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I think he did.
Yeah.
So nice and solid, but they've done nothing since after Southampton. They have just collapsed.
But dream team wise though, Foden and Mahrez are still ahead of Grealish points wise. I've not owned Grealish in any of my top sides this year. I just not got round to it. I've always gone for Mahrez or Foden.
Where is Grealish out of all the midfielders?
He's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9th overall, just ahead of Bowen. 3 points ahead of Bowen. Casemiro's just behind on 129. Grealish is 140. Mitoma's on 145.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He's been steady. Like I say, was a cheap pick as well at the time. I think his value's obviously climbed and climbed because he's had 5 pointers here, 8 pointers there. So he's done good. Right. Just a quick piss break. Are you happy about that, Ben? I don't know, because sometimes it's just like I thought you were never going to say there's a toilet break.
I've had a few.
There we go. Toilet break's on. So yeah, we'll be back after this. There we go. Back. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Ah, God, bloody ribs today. Oh, right. Anyway, sorry about that. I'll nip to ladies' room. Right. Basbestos has been on. Last week, Alvarez was the pick of the bunch. Are we still as high on him this week? Matt, are you high on Alvarez this week, mate?
Well, not particularly, but I went there. I'm still pretty happy with the move, fixture volume wise, and potentially how explosive he can be. I think I asked a question last week, which was ahead of me bringing him in, I think. And it's just that explosiveness that was talked about last week. How good was he in the World Cup, and how he can play alongside a player like Haaland and pick up some huge returns.
Yeah.
But then, there are days where he'll play 80 plus minutes and blank. I mean, it's just one of those things. He did have one shot on target, I think. He scraped a rating. He might play against Real Madrid on Wednesday. We'll see. I'm happy with those tickets and that lottery as well.
Yeah. Connor?
Yeah, I just be going for Alvarez if I'm chasing. I mean, it didn't look that good at the weekend, but there's loads of games left, and City's just that good where anyone can score, and Alvarez gets in those positions where he can get loads of shots, and he could easily get an 18-point or even a hat-trick. So he's a good option if you're chasing.
Definitely. Ben?
Yeah, I still think he's a great option. Like you say, he's still got double game weeks all the way through till the end of the season, and I think everyone will have him. If they've got transfers left, they will have him in their team for that FA Cup final come the end of the season. I'm hoping to keep some transfers back myself for it.
Yeah. I've got him in a few teams already, Alvarez.
Yeah.
I won't be moving him on. I think he's a good pick, fixture-wise. Obviously, he's going to get enough minutes. He's very talented. He's explosive, and he's capable of getting a big haul. So he's got all the things going for him. Plays for the right team. Right. Secondly from Basbestos, and I don't know, Matt, what's been going on, but with the exception of Sean Dyche, who would clearly be the unanimous winner, which Premier League personality would you most want? Here, asking you into bed. P.S. Matt, don't pretend you don't want to answer this. What's going on, Matt?
I think when he posted that question in the Discord, I'd done a bit of a rolling eyes symbol to the question. But then he followed up with that kind of request to make sure I answer.
Well, first up then.
I mean, I don't know. For those who watch the kind of Goldbridge podcasts occasionally, I just can't get his impression of Sean Dyche out of my head right now since Basbestos wrote that question. So Premier League personalities, Laura Woods. I mean, she presents the Premier League, so I guess she's a personality. Or Seema Jaswal, who actually works for the Premier League productions, but I doubt that's the answer that Basbestos wants me to do.
That's cheating.
So I'll go for a Premier League player then. Fallon Sherrock played in the as a contender in 2020 in the Premier League of Darts. I think it can only be one. I mean, he's what a man he is, how great he is in any commercial he appears in, and a great character. Could talk for hours to him. He's the kind of person you'd want at the dinner party. I think Jurgen Klopp. Why not?
What?
Oh,
Oh my god! No.
oh yeah, Tony, you wasn't on last week, were you? I want to hear your thoughts on his shouting at the fourth official.
Yeah.
What Jurgen? Oh,
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't like the bloke. I don't know whether you know, but he's just you've got to be able to lose properly, haven't you? I tried to teach my little girl this, but she is an awful loser. She's awful. And the missus says she gets it from me, but I'm actually quite a good loser. Lose, you shake hands, I just want to beat you. So let's play again. That's me. But yeah, Jurgen Klopp and his tosh there. Oh, the wind was a little bit strong and it was northeasterly. The grass was a little bit wet. And it's just, yeah, I can't stand the ball, to be honest.
He's an absolute legend, Tony, at Mainz and at Dortmund and Liverpool now.
No, honestly, if he asked me into bed, well, Jesus. Well, I mean, yeah, I won't be going to bed with him anyway. But yeah, with him screaming at officials, I mean, he's a bit of a hypocrite in here as well. He's everything I don't like in somebody. Anyway, I'd rather Sean Dyche, and he's ex-Burnley. But yeah, Ben, who do you want to share the bed with?
God. I haven't really got an answer for this, lads.
To be fair, I had Laura Woods wrote down, but I didn't want to say it live because my missus is listening. Who's this Laura Woods?
Hey, who's this? You know who Laura Woods is?
But I do. My missus doesn't.
Oh, right. You mean, yeah. Are we on about, right then, if I had to pick one, because I can't pick one from now because I'm pissed off with Leicester City. Maybe last season I might have said Maddison or Vardy or something like that, but I'm pissed off with them. What about David Beckham? Legend.
Right, so you want to get in bed with David Beckham?
Yeah. Because I know he'll have all the other women in the bed as well. we can just high five.
Right, Connor.
I'm gonna have to go Big Sam. It looks like he knows how to handle big chunks of meat, and that's all I need. So Big Sam.
Wow, no one expecting that, Connor. Yeah. Do you know, I'm not going to answer for it. I had Laura Woods wrote down because I thought I was getting away with the personality. If you want to talk managers, you go Pep Guardiola, wouldn't you? You wouldn't you? This is okay. We do this, we do that. He's got what Jurgen Klopp doesn't. But anyway, moving swiftly on, Baz Bestos. You are a funny guy. I love Baz. I think he's brilliant. Anyway, FPL tempo. Is it okay to completely load up on City players for the final stretch? He's a new listener. Sorry, he says cheers, gents. So good to have good to have you listening, mate. FPL tempo. Hopefully you get involved in the Discord and on the Patreon for next year. Get you set up. Let's get you attacking that top 100. City full block. Ben?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. They've got the fixtures. They're the best team. So they've got 7 games left. 8 fixtures if they get to the Champions League final. When you've got the next best team is West Ham for fixtures. They're on 5, possible 6 if they get to Europa Conference League final. And then you've got United, Brighton are on 5, and then the rest are on 4 and 3. So it's just, like I said, the best team with the most fixtures. So yeah, get on them. Get stuck into Man City.
Yeah. Connor?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to go up in rank, I don't think, if you go heavy on City. But if you want to hold a rank, just get everyone in.
Yeah. Fair point. It's true.
You could argue the more you have, the more chance you've got going up as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Maybe if you go half along City, you're not going to move much. But if you've got all full 11, then yeah, you might go up a little bit.
Yeah, the only
Yeah,
downside, the only downside to having a full City is you won't get the star mans because there's only one star man isn't available for each Premier League team. Well, every each match. So yeah, what are you going to say, Tony?
I was just going to say if you do go more or less full City, you and the punts don't quite work off. So say players like Bowen, like a few United assets and other people like that do have a little bit of fixture count. Brighton players, Mitoma and all that stuff. If those punts don't come off because there were people above you taking them punts to try and climb or to try and catch up in a mini league or wherever it might be, you will overtake them if City just carry on doing what City do and sure shed loads of points out every game, just not for the defence. Yeah. So, like I say, there'll be a lot of people that are heavy on City. It's how many punts are people putting in? How many, like you say, are you having a Bowen and a Mitoma and only having 2 City mids? Or because if you're doing that to try and catch somebody, if they don't come off, if Bowen, I don't know, doesn't score many, and Mitoma, Brighton keep putting performances in like today, then you would fall. You'd fall in rank. But for me, as heavy on City as you like, to be fair. Do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, I totally agreed. I've loaded up on City. I think I'm on 9 in my best team at the moment. Literally, just as you were talking there, Tony, had a quick look at FF Stuff's website, and thing that's really visual and easy to look at was the top 100 teams. And I reckon there's about an average of 6 to 7 players currently in those top 100 teams from City. So I think if you've got, if you're going more than 7, you might be able to make up a bit, noting what you said about Starman and how that spreads. So I think, I've done it. Happy to do it. I think we talked at length about the defenders earlier, and they have got some tricky games, and they still rotate as we saw today. So, but certainly on an attacking point of view, I'd want to load up.
Yeah, definitely. Right, that's the questions done. We're going to have just a quick look at the top 10, the overall leaderboard. We're not doing the mini league leaderboards today because I'm at the top. So, no, always joking. We're going to leave that for next week. Hopefully, Ben, you're still in the top 10 when we do that. Because I didn't have time to change the slides.
Yeah, up to 7th now. Yeah,
happy days, mate. We always say come sneaking up front back. Nice stalker. Right, so top 10. In 10th, we've got Christopher Hatton. 9th, Harry Carr. 8th, Darren Chapman. 7th, Andrew Foote. 5th, Mark Okarasa. 5th, with Simon Davis. With Nags Edge United, who's a listener to the pod. He's having a great season, is Simon. 4th, Martin Powell. 3rd, Bodo Wagner. 2nd, Carl Watts. And current leader is Andrew Cadman, an Arsenal fan. Is he going to bottle it? We don't know. But couple of Liverpool fans, a couple of United fans, Sheffield United fan there, a Leeds fan, obviously having a better season than what Leeds are having. And Arsenal fan top of the shop. As that is all for today, folks. It's been good to have you both on, Connor, Matt. Really appreciate you coming on, lads. We are getting to the end of the season now, and I mean a lot of stuff it's going to be City oriented. There's not much to go through at the minute, but you always bring some good insight. So it's nice to have you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Looking forward to some more Woolies waffle. Connor, your blogs have been amazing all season, mate. They've been brilliant. Keep that up. It's been good to watch your team's progress and your progress as a dream team manager as well.
Yeah. You want to go to Connor's Twitter handle? Is it at Conquer FF to catch his Dream Team blogs?
Yeah, which you can read for free over at patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic. Connor's blogs are free and available to the public. So, yeah. Right, lads. Have a nice evening. I'm going to try and recover from a very heavy bank holiday weekend. I'm going to recover from the fact that Rovers have missed out by the slightest of margins. It's a little bit painful. I'm going to get myself ready for a trip to Spain, where I'm going to destroy my bladder me liver even more. I've got 5 nights in Benalmadena to contend with, but I'm 35 and I just don't deal with hangovers very well anymore.
It's Benalmadena.
Benalmadena.
Proper tourist you are.
Schools there. I'm a proper gurry.
Yeah.
A proper gurry. Right. So I won't be on next week. Ben, we're going to discuss how we sort out next week's pod, if it happens. Yep. And yeah. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.